I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, and all of my rights are reserved for this video. For my fellow clergy who you have some challenges with the earrings, I really am in battle right now. Spiritual and physical, the natural, on the earth. I'm being denied gas, heat, where I live, from Dominion Energy Ohio Gas Company, who refuses to turn my gas on so I can have heat. And they are falsifying reports saying that they're doing service for me, and they never show up. I just received a very upsetting phone call with people holding my grandchildren against me and away from me, from one of my abusers, who had the nerve to call me private, and my granddaughter was telling me that she could see me, but I couldn't see her on the device that they were using, which is an invasion of not only my privacy, but it's also a violation of my protection, where I've had multiple protection orders against this man, and he has been known to abuse the children I have by him, the 2 girls I have by him, as well as me, with multiple records on file in Ohio and in other places that people keep making disappear. And then they have the nerve, they may not even be in Cuyahoga County. I have no clue where my grandchildren are. Once again, they are Soraya and Cassius. Soraya Santella, Liliana Lockett, and Cassius Latrell Brown. This is when we were together on Independence Day on the 4th of July in Cleveland, Ohio at Edgewater Park. And when I filed for custody of them, July the 7th of this year, 2017, 10 days later, the Department of Children and Family Services and the Cleveland Police decided to steal them, after the courts were closed, etc., while Judge Donald C. Nugent and Kathleen Ann Satula, along with other judges, called themselves shutting me down for fighting for my rights as a female, a Christian, a believer in Jesus Christ, for those of you who don't necessarily believe in that terminology, and also a commandment keeper. My dad is concerned that I would have to go through these abusive men in order to have a relationship with my children, and that's what people have been trying to make me do. I conceived my children through rape, who I love very dearly. I had a choice not to keep my children, but I chose to keep my children. I love my children. I don't like the way I conceived them. And now I'm sitting here watching my children and my grandchildren be abused and tossed about in a system that's supposed to be working for me, that my family has helped build. Ricky G. Brown, native of Chicago, Illinois, and his wife, Katrina Jordan Brown, who were beating our daughters with cutting boards when DCFS and police officers made deals to put them back in the home with them when they stole them from me back in 2002. Sending them to school with bloody lips, whelps all over their backs, etc. Because Ricky Brown made a deal with Judge James Payne of Indianapolis, Indiana, identifying us as niggers born to serve men. And he said he could use his Bible to prove it. Well, he made deals with Judge Timothy Flanagan before that. While people want to play. And in the meantime, I really do mean that, in the meantime, people are allowed to beat me up, abuse me, endanger my children and my grandchildren. And I've already shared with you about the father of my 2 sons. while these two Baptist preachers, Ricky George Brown, also on his birth certificate Rocky, George Brown, native of Chicago, Illinois, and Don Marlo Celette Stokes in the Stokes family, make deals, play games in the courts against me for reporting their abuse, as well as the abuse, neglect, and endangerment of former director James McCafferty of the Department of Children and Family Services, who in turn got promoted as county administrator for Cuyahoga County. Then had the nerve to work for something called a Christian home, which definitely doesn't represent Christ. And then this Billy W. Thomas Jr. beats me up, not only drags me down the street, but beats me up in my home with a rape kit on file that Cleveland police says they're not going to collect the DNA on because I don't have an attorney. Wow. This is supposed to be acceptable? Surely nobody thought I was just going to roll over and die the day that I was held captive and my children were stolen from me. Nobody really believed that. And robbed from me, my baby robbed from me. Under a civil protection order given to me by Judge Cheryl S. Carter and Magistrate Joan Pellegrin in Cuyahoga County Courts. Help my unbelief. It's real strange because people won't communicate with me to assist me, but papers are being passed throughout the courts against me in the pockets and the beds of folks to abort my purpose and my destiny, doing something called kangaroo court. I need an attorney that will stand up for me, that's not scared of these people. I need to know where my grandchildren are, and I need to know where my children are and what's happening with my children. Children's Services told my children that if they stayed in the system, that they would put them in college. You know that's a joke. If they agreed to not come back home to me. When I was on television in Indiana, they banned my children from watching television so they couldn't see me. And how likely is it that the gas company, the postal service, the key agencies that will provide for my livelihood refuse me services? While my federal representative's office has a staff member by the name of Linda Matthews who tells me that if I contact them for any more assistance or to reach out to them, that they're going to have me locked up again. Linda Matthews, I got your message. Going around telling people that I'm mentally ill. Wow, Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Brent Carbell calls people on the phone and tells them that I'm mentally ill because his wife is a psychiatrist and he has proof from 2013. I didn't see that in his job description, on top of which is not true. And if it were written down on paper, I've never seen his wife as a psychiatrist. So where would that be coming from? Unless there's some stuff going around that I don't know about. I'm Reverend Pamela and Pinckney Butts, a born and a born-again citizen of the United States of America, whose rights are being violated, crimes are being committed, and people want me to do something to justify their actions. And my community resources, my living resources are literally cut off because I will not put psychotropic drugs in my body to justify the Department of Children and Family Services and the Cleveland, Ohio Police Department committing crimes against me, violating my rights, and endangering, neglecting my children, my grandchildren, and me. I need not mention the other cares of my affairs not being handled properly. Congresswoman Marsha L. Fudge, I am totally upset with you right now. You are the godmother of my oldest daughter, and your staff is violating my rights And when you come to town, you don't even pick up the phone and call me to see if I'm okay. Because you've been too busy telling people that I'm mentally ill. I wasn't mentally ill when I asked you to be my daughter's godmother. I'm a woman. I'm a female just like you. Not just like you, though. Obviously. And I'm very upset at you right now, Marsha. You've disappointed me tremendously. I speak well of you while you speak ill of me. And for those of you who have been calling me mentally ill, I haven't been mentally ill when you needed me to do something for you. Keep your mouth off of me. Anybody who can help me, I need some money and I need some other resources. And I need a formal investigation done on my behalf. Remember Marsha Fudge, you were supposed to be doing that at the last meeting I saw you at, the last public community meeting, whatever, town hall meeting. Well, it hasn't been done. And it's not being done, and you're not making sure that it's getting done. You or Sherrod Brown, Senator Sherrod Brown. This is happening to me in America. My family helped make sure you all have a job, and yet you're in the positions, and I have too, that you're in. You're biting the hand that's fed you. My mail being violated, and my health, my physical health, let alone the mental abuse. I'm just totally upset with you all right now. Upset at you all, not with you, because you're not upset. You don't even care. No one seems to be outraged at this defamation of my character and the sabotage of my life. That's in a position of leadership, with the exception of Mayor Frank J. Jackson and Councilman, Cleveland, Ohio City Councilman T.J. Dow, who can't do but so much without being attacked for things being done outside of his jurisdiction. Who's a very dear friend to me. And I do have some other friends, including the president of one of the organizations for which I am the clergy, Black on Black Crime Incorporated, and its founder, his wife. And their hands are tied. Joe Paganakis, they're still keeping up their mess. The news reporter from 5 on Your Side. Please do what you need to do. The Federal Bureau of Investigations has multiple reports on record for these things happening to me. But instead of using them on my behalf, they put me in the police database for fighting for my rights. To protect, provide for my family and for me. In a country, a nation that has been established through my family, its own identity. My phone number is 1216-315-6452, or I have other numbers, 1216-466-2872, 1216-548-0820, 1216-302-9665, and 1216-571-0821. Just so you know, for those of you who want to criticize my earrings, I am in battle. I'm fighting for my life and what's left of my integrity, as well as my rights to speak up for my belief in Jesus Christ as being my Lord and my Savior, and as well as being my friend. Thank you very much for those of you who have listened to this in its entirety, and those of you who can't help me. I do need the assistance. And just so you know, law enforcement officers are allowed to beat me up, as well as religious leaders. And doctors have been allowed to sexually, physically violate me, etc. Please find my grandbabies, and please find my children and help them, because they do need your help, and so do I. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, in the United States of also America. All rights are reserved for this video.